Yes. Yes. Hmm. Well, the truth is, I'm not surprised you didn't find anything. There won't be any records of me because I wasn't born here. No, no, the truth is, I won't be born until a very long time from now. No, you heard me correctly. You can run whatever tests you like. Search the birth databases of every fractured government across this planet. You don't even have to believe me. But I'll tell you everything. You'll never guess. I was the captain of a science vessel, 1,000 years in the future. A spaceship, yes. Our lifelong mission was to trawl the galaxy in search of new planets, new life forms, new homes amongst the stars. The reclamation project was doing its best here on Earth, sure, but there's only so much you can dial things back once they're gone. So we trudged along from system to system, year after year, surveying one icy rock after the other, in the hopes of finding something, anything, might prove that there was another beautiful place in the cosmos that might be able to sustain life. I still believe something is out there, but I ran out of words to encourage the crew that that something was something we could find. There are only so many years that the people will follow you through the desert to the promised land. There was one survey I remember in particular. The chief botanist was elated at the new findings of a colony of, I don't know, crabgrass, something like that. Anyway, I read the report half a dozen times and in some abstract sense knew that this was an exciting new development and almost found it enough to keep going. In my deepest heart of hearts, something gnawed at me. Decades of work, and this was the result. I still believe that with enough time, patience, and dedication, someone will find something worth finding out there. But that night, as I sat looking out of the viewport as we orbited that rock, something in me changed. I felt as if it would be easier to go back centuries in time, to when the Earth still had its lush and green places, than it would be to spend another day in the seemingly endless transit from system to system, awaiting the tiniest crumb of scientific validation. So, the next day, I asked our physicist to start spending her time looking into our options. Time travel research was prohibited, but I think she had started to feel the same way as me. And it took another few years for her to figure it out, but just her working on it was enough to keep the hope alive, find the words to keep encouraging the crew. It was so hard to know if the mission was still worthwhile. Eventually, the time came when we demonstrated that the technique was possible. And in what would have been a career-shattering move if it had turned out otherwise, I put it to a vote. I asked them all if it was worth it to keep plugging on for the rest of our lives in this endless, fruitless search through the terrifyingly infinite cosmos, or if we would roll the dice and take our chances, swimming the wrong way against the space-time continuum to a planet we knew was once paradise. Don't worry, I took a qualitative survey design class at the academy, so it wasn't that biased of a question, but we all knew that's what it meant. And the decision was unanimous. And I tell you, when I first sat on the beach underneath a palm tree and swam in the ocean with the dolphins and fishes all the colors of the rainbow and tried every kind of fruit that I could, I knew it was worth it. When I walked barefoot in the forest with the leaves and the dirt between my toes, I knew it was worth it. When I felt the sun on my face and breathed air fresher than I ever knew was possible, I knew it was worth it. If I could do it again, I would have gone even further back in time, but we only had enough tetholium for one trip. And I'd like to think by being here, we could help find a way to avoid it. We've all found people fighting the good fights and pitching where we could, but it's hard knowing the way things turned out, at least in our timeline. So we're here, in one last grand experiment against impossible odds. But who knows? We might have been here all along. So anyway, that's why I don't have a driver's license.